Hey everybody, Jeremy here from Gnomebot Studios. Welcome to the 2025 year-end wrap-up, where I talk about everything that happened this year for Gnomebot Studios and what I intend to do in 2026. 2025 has been a very busy year for me, both in my kind of personal life and also for Gnomebot Studios. I was surprised with all the notes that I was writing down just how much I did, because it kind of felt like I didn't really accomplish a lot. But looking at it now, I'm like, wow, yeah, it was a busy year. So to start, in my personal life, I started a new job in April, and that is a full-time job for a sign company. I work in the vinyl graphics department. It's a very intense, busy job. Half the time I'm spending with like a graphics program. So I'm, staring at a computer all day, or half the day at least, and then basically cutting out vinyl and creating signs. So half the day I do that, half the day I actually do make the physical products. We do quite a bit of overtime. It's a very busy job, but it's very stable, and it's allowing me to survive, because before I was flying by the seat of my pants and it was difficult to make ends meet. So it has been a positive in that way, at least. But it has certainly affected my ability to remain focused and have enough energy to do creative projects. So often I'm a weekend warrior now. I do some stuff during the week, but by the time I get to sitting down, I'm exhausted. So I'm still working with the balance on that. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get to a good point. And I intend on spending my pay time off for like long weekends and stuff, to sort of allow me more opportunities to like really dive in and do some long days of illustration and design work. So it's all good. I've been able to pay off my debts and save some money, and it's all good in that respect. So as far as Gnomebot Studios is concerned, the big one was Grit Galaxies. I did a bunch of playtesting, 20 plus games of that. I kind of lost track, actually. In that, I involved quite a few people from Discord in the first quarter of the year, basically. And then I got into some like private games with multiple people, multiple groups. So that was good. It was much easier playtesting Grit Galaxies than it was Grit Fantasy, simply because most of the core mechanics are all done. It's just a matter of playtesting lineage abilities and, items and stuff like that, as also vehicles and mech suits and stuff too. So the big thing really was writing the book, and that took me 11 months out of the year to do, and it was no easy task. I had to basically reformat everything, so I couldn't use the format that I had from Grit Fantasy, really. I had to start brand new, so that's new layout, new format and everything. So I basically had to retype the entire book and add everything else to it for Galaxies, Galaxy specific stuff. So that was huge, and that has been sent to Ryan, who's the editor. I sent that to him in November, I think. He's done some work on it, but he is also a very busy guy in his private life and has a very busy job. So things are moving slowly with that, but that's just how it's going to go. I also have, a lot of illustrations to do too. So hopefully the timing will work out well with that. So they kind of get done at the same time, but we'll see how that goes. So I did talk to Ryan a bit, maybe 3 weeks ago on Discord, and he said that when he was reading through and working through like the first portion of the book, he was very pleased at how the writing was, and that a lot of it he didn't really have to do much of anything. So that is a very good sign. That is exactly what I wanted to hear. I worked really hard to make sure that his job was easy and that we can move along quickly with the editing stuff. So that is a definite positive. I also did a ton of sketch work and mock-ups for the book. So I've got about 90% of all the illustrations already sketched and mocked up. Like, I know where they're going to go. I know I talked about this in my latest update, but the illustrations, I'm in a good spot. I just need to get working on the final illustrations, and there are 84 of them. I just counted them out today. Another thing too that kind of has happened in the last month is that I have started working on the revised edition for Grit Fantasy. That is going to coincide with Grit Galaxies, and the reason why this is happening is because I'm moving to a different printer. This is also something I mentioned in my latest update video for Grit Galaxies, but that is a thing that I've been working on. So that is something that's going to go beyond, Grit Galaxies. Like, it's going to be completed after Grit Galaxies for sure. It's just a super long progress or project. So that and and just making sure that both of them kind of jive together. Like, I want to make sure that they both have the same exact format, that they're easy to look at from one to the other. So that has been my goal, working on that. I also finished the third-party license for Grit Fantasy this year and put it out on Discord. So there have been a couple people that have put out stuff for that. Ryan and Wingus both put out little adventures for the game, which is awesome. And Moose from Discord also recently put out a little thing out for solo play, which is awesome. And that was just basically referencing certain pages and stuff to help in solo play for, tables that you might need to roll on and stuff, which is awesome. So another thing I did is I opened up a threadless account, which means that I'm selling Gnomebot merch now. So I have t-shirts and magnets and stickers and stuff like that set up for just the Gnomebot Studios logo. I wanted to do more, but I just didn't get that far. So I'll talk about that a little bit later, but that was set up. I did a lot of YouTube videos, both for Grit Fantasy. I kind of finished out what I had to say for Grit Fantasy. I'm sure there'll be more later when I do the revised edition, but I did quite a few of the Grit Galaxies updates videos, and I started a new little series called Side Quest. So there's been a lot of stuff with YouTube for Gnomebot, which has been good to do, just to keep this thing moving a little bit. I know I don't have a ton of followers, and I know I don't get a lot of views, but at least there's a core group of people that might be interested in this, that have been supportive of the game and Gnomebot. So it's good to see, people, leaving comments and stuff on that too. So, and then this year, there was actually quite a few YouTube reviews or awards or mentions. And just a shout out to all those people that did that for Grit Fantasy. I really appreciate it. So I've got a running list here in no apparent order, but there's Rich from Renegade Rolls. There's the Motley GM. He's also on the Discord server. Rich and Motley GM are on Discord server. And he has did a great review and has mentioned Grit Fantasy multiple times in other videos. And that's so cool to see. I saw Turk from the Grouch Couch put out a review and actually a couple videos and stuff on that, which was awesome. Jeff from the Gaming Gang put out a couple videos and a written thing for Grit Fantasy. Wingus from Rocket Punch Press put out stuff, short and a video or two, which is awesome. Thank you so much, Wingus. Geek Gamers also put out a couple of videos, which was just great. The last one was unexpected. It was like the top 10 solo games of the year, so that was awesome to see, and very much appreciated that. And I think that's about all that I could think of for folks out there doing videos. There was a written review out there, a couple of them. Of course, I mentioned it before, but the Gaming Gang, Jeff, he put out a written thing. There's a fellow named Waza from Watchwell Games that put out a written review. I need to post that on Discord just to make sure people can see it. And then I did like a Discord review, which became like an archived document from Hardboiled GM Shoe's office. So I did that, which is cool. And then another thing I did was I was part of the Crit 2025 event. So I ran a couple games for that, Fargo's Place and Walk in the Woods, which was fun to play with folks who haven't played it yet. So that was awesome. Another thing to mention is that Discord has been slowly growing. So there's more of us in that server. So that is good to see. And then kind of in my space outside of the Grit thing, I found a little game group with my buddy Ryan and Ben, and we have tried to play once a week, but sometimes it doesn't happen. But we've played, Grit Galaxies, Grit Fantasy, a number of other indie games. Nimble comes to mind, Eat the Reich. And then we play tested Ryan's game Limitless multiple times, and also Serum 26, which is his new game that's based on the Limitless system. It's like a supers game, which is awesome. Had a lot of fun with that. So I've had fun with that group, and that's kind of kept me going because I haven't done a lot of playtesting stuff or gaming outside of that in the later half of the year. So as far as other design work, I have been doing a ton of note taking, just a lot of fiddling around with dice mechanics and ideas for new systems. I've got pages and pages and pages of that stuff. Nothing is really solidified yet. I did one playtest session for like a D4 based system. That kind of went okay, but I still need to go back to it and work out some more details. Another thing too is I've got a number of things behind the scenes that I'm working on with Grit for supplements. One of the big ones was a monster manual, something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I have the layout completely done for that. I don't have any of the stuff in it, but all the core stuff, all the layout of where everything's going to be, all the pages and stuff, that they're already done. It's just a matter of coming up with the monsters, writing them in, and then illustrating them. Whether or not I do anything with that in 2026, I'm not sure, but at least it's set up and ready to go. I may actually break that up and do it in smaller sections, like little micro manuals, and then eventually compile it into a book. But we'll see how that goes. So anyway, that was 2025. A lot of stuff. Didn't seem like it, but when I look back, it was busy. So 2026, what's it going to look like for Gnomebot Studios? Well, the big one is finishing Grit Galaxies. That is an absolute must for me to finish the project. I am way behind in where I wanted to be. I wanted to be done with it in the fall of 2025, but it has taken me a lot longer to get it to a place where I want it to be. I think it's worth taking the extra time instead of trying to push it through super fast. But I wanted to make sure the writing was all good, and I kept kind of tweaking and adding stuff, and I revised the loot section multiple times, and it just took a long time to do. So, but right now, in 2026, I've got to get all the illustrations done. I've got 84 of those, and then the editing needs to be wrapped up, and then I need to make a cover for it. So all that's going to happen hopefully in the first quarter or so of the year. I could put that out. That would be great. As much as I love it, it has been kind of a weight on my shoulders. It would be nice to like be done with it and take a deep breath. It has felt like a long time that I've been working on it, but actually when I compare it to how long it took me to do Grit Fantasy, it's like super fast actually. So I appreciate everyone waiting and being patient for this thing to come out, because it'll definitely be worth the wait. The other big one is the revised edition for Grit Fantasy. That's going to take reformatting. I'm going to colorize all the artwork, and it's going to get a new cover. So that is a late 2026 thing, I think. I would love to have it like be a couple, 2 or 3 months after Grit Galaxies comes out, but in reality, it'll probably be much later. So I would love to get it done 2026 so that the two biggies are finished and I can be just like done with that big stuff. Okay. Another thing I want to do is expand the merchandise stuff. I know I talked about that in my last, wrap up when I was talking about 2025. I did get the merch started, but I haven't, expanded on that. So I want to do more of that. Get some of this artwork from Grit Fantasy and stuff put into t-shirts and stuff like that. So that'll be something I look at. It'll probably be not crazy a lot of stuff, but at least making a move in that direction. Another big one that I need to tackle this year is a website. And now that I have a full-time job, that I have a little more income, it will be affordable for me to set up a little website and get that going. And then hopefully the proceeds from my books will sort of pay for it. That's at least the hope, so that I don't have to shell out money every month for it. But we'll see how that works out. But I definitely need a website where everyone can go to get the products all in one place. Because moving to Lulu, little different setup than just drive through, right? So I would love to have the PDF and the books and everything on there that just would link up to printers and whatever. So that's what I'm thinking about there too. And the merch would also be there as well. So drive through and itch will be something I still am involved with. I'll have PDFs available for everything that I make on both of those platforms, just that anything printed will go through Lulu. Okay. Hopefully I can get some small grit supplements worked on this year, but we'll see how that goes. I need to plan those out. But I'm talking about small stuff, not like 50 pages, like 10 to 15 pages, something like that. Maybe little adventures or pre-made characters or something, just something small. Little packets of monsters, maybe lineages and stuff, like, extra character choices, maybe a little loot tables. Who knows? But they'll be small and cheap. So anyway, and in PDF form as well. I would also like to really work on some alternate designs and get at least one thing out there and play tested and then out there. All these notes I'm taking, my mind is on that. So I feel like I need to make that a thing. So that is a goal of mine, is to get at least one alternate design finished and out there, and it will be PDF only. I'm not making anything big enough to be printed, at least that I in my mind. We shall see though, but at least something that I can expand on later if it becomes a thing that people really enjoy. I'm going to be investing in some new equipment. So I absolutely need a new computer. That's a big investment, but it has to happen. So at some point soon, within the next month, I will be getting an upgrade with the computer, which also will allow me to upgrade my YouTube setup for recording stuff. So that will be a thing. So I will have higher quality gear to work with all that stuff. So that's a thing. I may actually invest in a camera and stuff like that, because I want to do a little bit more with YouTube. Not that I want to be in front of a camera. That's just kind of not my thing, but I can see some instances where it would be helpful to have a good camera. So we'll see with that. With YouTube, I want to continue with SideQuest and make that a regular thing. And I'm thinking about doing some solo play games with Grit. So I think it would be awesome to have solo play sessions, just like, as its own series maybe. So I think that's something cool to look forward to. And really, the last thing is just play more games. I feel like this year I have been so focused on the writing and producing of Grit Galaxies that and the playtesting, that I've kind of fallen away from trying to play games more regularly. Even though I have my little group, it often ends up where we're only playing a couple times a month. I would like to get something more regular going that I can count on. So in addition to that, so here's hoping for more games being played. And by more games, I don't mean trying out a bunch of new games. I'm just talking about getting games played. Like if I have to run Grit Galaxies short arcs or something, that would be great. Whatever it is, it just needs to be more regular. And repeat characters that come back. Even if it's a series of one shots, it could be like like a season of a TV show kind of thing, where you come back with the same characters, but they're just different. They're one shots that make up an arc. So anyway, that's what I'm planning on. So thanks for listening. I appreciate you. And I hope you're out there gaming and stuff. And I hope your 2025 is good, and that 2026 is even better, and you get lots of cool things going on for RPG stuff. And as always, keep rolling those dice.